This is Perspectivas Latinas, a community service of CAN TV. I'm Juan Carlos Hernandez. People who work on farms or in landscaping are rarely heard and easily exploited. The Farmworker Landscaper Advocacy Project aims to change that. Our guest, Alexandra Sossa, is here to discuss their work. Welcome.
Thank you, Juan Carlos, for having me here.
I'm glad you're here. This is an area of concern to me personally, just because I've seen family members work in this area, and family members from my extended family. Tell me about yourself and how you came to this organization. You're from Colombia originally.
Yes, I am. I am from Colombia, but I grew up in a coffee farm in Colombia. And since I was born, I was very interested in the farm workers and the landscapers, like histories and life. And I saw how they had been abused, not only here in the United States, but also in my own country. So when I left Colombia and I got to Chicago back in 2000, I wanted to get involved with the farm workers and the landscapers. I mean, as an immigrant, I was looking a way to serve my community, the Latino community, and I met the former director of the FLAP of the organization. His name is Vince Beckman, and he's an attorney. And at that moment, he was looking for someone to help with outreach. So I started with the organization in summer 2001.
Summer 2001.
And yes, it's a long time ago.
Well, not that long, but yes, but certainly some time now.
And then I started volunteering for the organization. I got involved with the organization and I started working with them.
Wow. So, what brought you to Chicago? It's most people, I think, that come from Colombia, at least the Colombianos I have met here, they come here because they have a professional degree, and they come here and they're like, oh, they're doctors, lawyers, or in other fields like that, and they come and work in that. I
came here because of love.
Love, okay.
So I was married in Colombia with a Colombian guy also, and for some reason I got a job in Madrid, in Spain, and he was studying English here in Chicago. So at that time we made the decision that he will be here in Chicago, I'll go to Spain.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly.
How long have you been married?
It's very interesting, but we got married, he came here immediately, and I went to Spain immediately.
Wow.
So very interesting, yeah. And then I work in Spain with the Mexican embassy, helping the Latino, the Mexican community in Spain also. And then it was a time when we had this conversation, my husband and I, and said, well, we should be together because we are married, right? So I made the decision to be here in Chicago. So I came to Chicago in winter 2000, and it was awful. It was terrible. And I was thinking that, okay, I'll go to Chicago. I check out the museum and everything, and then I'm leaving, and maybe go back to Spain and to Europe. But I was here, and then I fall in love with FLAP and the work that we do, and we made the decision to stay here. Later on, he left me and went to Canada to study, and I didn't want to leave FLAP, and he's between Canada and Colombia, and I'm here in Chicago.
Wow. So a lot of, I'm sure you could write a book.
I'm sure.
And you probably will someday. But this interesting story of you falling in love with FLAP, how big is the issue of farm worker and landscaper exploitation here? I think it's a population we see here. At least we see people. At least I remember, as I mentioned before the program, I was walking to the train, and I saw some people, some landscapers, working out of a truck. We see these people, these individuals, but we rarely hear from them. Is it something? Is it just a few groups of workers we see, or is it a lot of people out there that we just don't care to talk about?
I will say that the farm workers and the landscapers here in Illinois and in the country, in the United States, are kind of like an invisible population. Nobody thinks about it. Even they are the ones who produce and are in contact with the food that we eat every day, and they are the ones that bring the flowers and organize the parks and the trees and everything that is outside. But we don't think about it.
Why not? Why do you think we don't think about it?
I think it's because it's an invisible population. It's because maybe you don't stop thinking, you don't take the time to think like who is producing this food, how this food got to this table. I will say that it's no education also. I mean, I think the community needs more education about that. But answering the other question, like how many people, at FLAP, we estimate that there are 100,000 farm workers in northern Illinois.
100,000 in northern Illinois?
In northern Illinois,
wow.
besides the landscapers. So our organization, FLAP, covers 18 counties in northern Illinois. That goes from McHenry County, Lake County, very, very far in Illinois. So Kendall, LaSalle, Will counties. And in those counties, we estimate 100,000 farm workers.
Farm workers, and in the entire state of Illinois, about how many?
I don't know in total, Juan Carlos. I'm sorry.
So no estimate?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, but it is quite a number, and you do reach. Your organization does reach out to people in the southern part of the state as well.
Yes, we also do that. We have attorneys working in the south who will take those cases, but we concentrate in northern Illinois, in the state, in the counties that I mentioned.
You said an important word. I think it's an important word for us as consumers of food, obviously, but and for our viewers, and just to reflect, I think. You said invisible. These individuals are invisible. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we ignore them. I think they are invisible because I think we choose to ignore them. They might be invisible and we choose to ignore them, but they are obviously human beings. What kinds of issues are they dealing with? Given the fact that they are so, they are seen but not heard, or rarely seen or discussed. Or what kind of issues are they dealing with?
When I say they are invisible, I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you how this works. This works. There is a contratista, and this person.
A contractor.
Yes, like a contractor, is hired by a company. And the company says, summer is coming, and for this summer, I need 100 workers. Just to tell you a number, right? And I need to hire 100 workers to work in a farm, let's say in Marengo, Illinois. That's in McHenry County, very far from here, from Chicago. Okay, so the contratista, he goes to a town in Mexico, he place an ad in the newspapers and the radio. We are hiring people. Go to America, get the American dream. Blah blah blah. So there is a long line of people who wants to get the job, right? So they bring the workers to here, to the United States, and bring the workers to the farm.
How do they bring them, on a plane?
No, those workers could be undocumented, or could be with a visa.
Okay.
But they travel by bus, like what they call el camión, is a bus. From Monterrey, from Guanajuato, from different towns in Mexico, and came here to a small town in Chicago. It could be Marengo, it could be a city like Waukegan, Round Lake, Mendota. There is a lot in there. once they are here, the company owner will decide, okay, I'm going to pay you minimum wage, it's $8.25 per hour, or I'm going to pay you $9, or I'm going to pay you $10 per hour. The problem with those workers is that the majority of them also have to pay for housing.
How much do they pay for housing?
So we saw a house that will have like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a basement, the kitchen, a living room, and in that house, 15 workers.
15 workers?
Easily 15 to 20.
Wow.
So they share the room. There is a mattress. They share the mattress. Like a worker, one will work from, I don't know, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then the other one will work in the nights, and then they share the mattress. There is a mattress. There is no bed, and in a room, in just one room, easily 5 people will sleep. And then the deduction for housing per week is like $50.
Okay, so they reduce it from their pay.
From their pay. And then on top of that, they will provide the uniforms to the workers with the company logo that is doing marketing for them to do marketing for the company. And then they will charge the worker like $8, $7, $9, $10 every week.
Every week?
For cleaning the uniforms. So instead of the working going to the laundry and spending $1, $2, $3, it will pay like $7 to the company for cleaning the uniforms every week.
Wow.
So now we are talking about $57 that the worker is getting, the deduction that the worker is getting. There are companies who also will charge the worker for using of tools at work. Like they will need like a scissors to cut the trees or to trim or whatever.
A shovel.
Exactly. So it's the deduction goes up and down, but it could be $1.50 per tool. So per week will be like $3, $4, $5 for tools. So now we are talking a deduction of $60 per week.
$60.
So if a worker is making $8.25 per hour, and then at the end of the week is getting a deduction for $60, you see that the minimum wage goes below to what it should be, $8.25 per hour. Then there are other violations on top of that, like some workers are not getting paid for travel time. Before the program started, I was telling you, like, it's a worker who lives, let's say, in Round Lake, in Lake County.
Right.
And then this worker, today, they are doing landscaping work in the Millennium Park here in Chicago, downtown. So this worker will go to the company first, and then will get into the company trucks, and then the trucks will travel with the workers to downtown Chicago. So that travel time could be depending of the hour.
Right, and yeah, the traffic and everything, right?
Weather, traffic. If it is a rush hour, 45 minutes easily. So the worker will start getting paid once the worker is at the Millennium Park and start working. Same in the evening when he returns to the company. And some companies will ask the workers, once they're back at the shop, to clean the trucks, to take out the garbage, dump the truck, take out the tools, and do more extra work in benefit of the company. Same in the morning, get ready for the work they are doing during the day.
And they're not getting paid for that time.
And that's work off the clock. And it's very, very difficult to prove that you are doing that work, right? And they are not getting paid for that travel time and that work off the clock.
Wow. So how does your organization step in and assist and help these individuals?
Is when FLAP plays a very important role. Is when we see those violations. So the mission of the organization is to improve working conditions for the migrant workers and the landscapers in Illinois. When we say improving working conditions, we accomplish that mission doing outreach, community legal education, and litigation.
Okay.
So
No, tell me about those three areas. But how does outreach work then? These individuals are out working. Some of them may be in company-owned housing. They may, like you say, they're working long hours. How do you get your information to them?
Exactly. So the outreach works like one by one, going directly to the worker and listening to the problems, like educating the worker, like, okay, so where are you coming from, and how long have you been in the United States, how is the working conditions, and then the worker will, everything has to be with trust, right? So we are around now for 15 years. The organization started in 1999. So we had building the trust with the workers, and now they know that we are on their side, that we are here to help them, that our services are free, that they don't have to pay for the services. So they are open to have a conversation with us about the problems they have at work. So it's how the outreach works.
Okay.
The community legal education is more with a group of people doing presentations and what we call Know Your Rights at Work.
Okay, I'm still curious though, and I guess it touches on both of these. If these owners, these companies, the owners of these companies or whoever's in charge at that time, maybe a foreman or something like that, how do I'm sure they're not happy having you around.
Yeah, no, at all.
You know, they're not like, oh, you come and talk to them about their rights and wage theft or whatever other issue. How does that happen?
Well, we have those skills, right? We have those skills.
You don't have to give me all your secrets. But
yeah, no, of course. But we have those skills, how to approach the worker and how to recognize when the supervisor is around, when the company owner is around.
Okay.
And then let's say that there is a group of workers working on the streets, as you saw them yesterday, right? They are trimming the trees and doing some landscaping work. We see the workers, we look around, who is around, and okay, so this person could be maybe the driver, that one could be the supervisor, that one could be the company owner, or the company owner is not around, the supervisor is not around, the driver is still there. Sometimes the driver is sympathize more with the company than with the workers.
Right.
But we know how to handle the situation. So we just go, hey, hello, my name is Alexandra Sossa, here is my car. We work for this non-for-profit organization. I'm wondering if you have maybe legal questions we can try to help you with. We have a pool of attorneys. We can give you legal advices. If you want to, just give us a call and we will direct your call to the appropriate attorney to answer your question. That's it. Depending how the workers react, then you can go deeply and get more information. So it could happen that the driver or the supervisor say, no, we don't need your services here, get out of here. That's it, and out, right? And sometimes I have to take my cars with me. Sometimes I leave the cars for the workers, and they call me later. Or it could be that the driver will say, but what exactly is what you do? So I will say, are you the driver? Are you the supervisor? And then he will say, yes, I am. And then I say, oh, great. We can help you with food stamps if you need. We can fill out an application for you. If there is an amnesty and you have immigration questions, please give us a call. We have attorneys where we can send you, or we can make the referral. They can help you with that. And by the way, are you getting paid for travel time? Because you are the driver, right? And you should be paid for travel time. And those uniforms, do you have to pay for the uniforms, or are for free? Or, and then the worker will tell you, yeah, this company doesn't pay me for travel time. Or no, everything is fine, and I'm getting paid for everything is okay. And, okay, then keep my car. Give us a call later when you want. We're happy to help you. That's one way.
Right.
The other way is going directly to the workers' houses. We know where they live now. We know after 15 years of
Yeah. You have a map of where these places are.
Exactly, like the migrant workers camps and where are the landscapers neighborhoods. So we go there, we go to the parks where they play soccer, and we just start a friendly conversation and trying to get the trust and trying to tell them, if you have a problem, give us a call, we are happy to help you, our services are free. And the most important is community legal education.
How does that work? So you go on and do all this outreach. This is for individual cases, like somebody might be having an issue with a company, and they call you, or they might be able to call you, but you're saying community legal education. So what, you go to a park or a church or somewhere, or a community center or somebody's house? How exactly does that work?
Yeah, the community legal education could be done at the Mexican consulate that we partner with. And we do the labor's rights every year before Labor Day. So a group of organizations like us partner with the Mexican consulate, and then we do presentation the whole week, just presentations for the workers. Could be in a park when they are playing soccer. Just say, hey, you want to know about your rights? Here are your rights. You have the right to get minimum wage in Illinois is $8.25 per hour. We pay for overtime depending on the work that you are doing, etc., etc., etc. We partner with other non-for-profits, especially in the suburbs. We partner with other organizations who sympathize with the organization mission to do community legal education presentations. So it's 1 hour presentation, and in 1 hour we have guests, and we invited a workers' compensation attorney who specializes in workers' compensation. We have a personal injury attorney, we have an employment attorney, immigration attorney, and social security benefits attorney, like one attorney who specializes in each of the areas of the law to educate the workers. After the presentations, the workers will have questions. After the questions, the worker may have a case. If they have a case, we litigate those cases.
Okay, so they come to you, they have the case, they have to come downtown to litigate, or how does that work?
Yeah, I will say that one of the success of the organization is exactly that. We work after 6 p.m., we work on the weekends. We try to accommodate our schedules to the workers' schedules.
Wow, that's admirable.
We are talking about a population who works 7 days a week for 12, 14 hours per day. They don't have time to go to downtown. They don't have time to go to our offices. And they are also, honestly, they are scared to do it.
Right.
So what we will do is set an appointment with them, go to their houses, give them the tools that they need to sue the company, and then see if they want to do it. We will meet with a worker on Sunday at 5 p.m. in their houses, or in a community organization close to the place where they live, or in a park, or in a library,
or a restaurant.
Or in a restaurant, wherever they feel comfortable doing it.
Wow.
There are events when they will have to be here in downtown because we have to go to the federal court for a settlement conference, for example, is when we are ready to settle the case. Or they will have to go to deposition when the company attorneys will like to ask some questions to the worker. And they are coming. I mean, we provide the transportation and we build the truth for them to feel safe, that nothing is going to happen, that they will be okay. And they are team players. They came, they hear, and they answer the questions, and they stand up for their rights.
Wow, that's awesome. We're getting close to the end of the show, and I wish we could actually talk for another couple hours about this, but just give me an example of a case that was successful, or you don't have to name names, or or give me the exact case or what happened, but just a quick example, please.
Since the organization started, we filed so far 150 cases and recovered $2.5 million for the workers back in wages.
Wow.
One particular case I remember is a lady who worked for a nursery. She was fired and she wasn't paid for minimum wage. She was paid $4 per hour.
Wow.
We were able to start the case with her and involve 15,000 workers on the company, 1,500 workers. I'm sorry, 1,500 workers, and we put down the company. The company closed at the end, and we recovered the money for the worker, for her, and that was a very rewarding case because she was very afraid. She was undocumented, and she was very afraid to do something, and we were able to build the trust and to give her the tools that she needed to go to court and sue the company.
Well, and that is what you're about, is helping give these people the tools to actually be respected, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
And to you, thank you for joining us. Perspectivas Latinas is a community service of CAN TV. If your nonprofit organization would like to work with CAN TV, call 312-738-1400 and ask for nonprofit services. Tune in to Perspectivas Latinas for local issues and concerns every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on CAN TV 21. I'm Juan Carlos Hernandez. Thank you for joining us.